Watch, the US escalated its baseless claim that Maduro was overseeing a drug cartel flooding the US with narcotics. Never mind that Maduro's alleged cartel, the Cartel de los Soles, is not an actual organization, and to the extent that it has operated, only did so as a US partner. As CBS News reported in 1993, the CIA worked with a Venezuelan asset to ship cocaine into the US as part of an operation to infiltrate Colombian drug cartels. That operation was informally described as involving the Cartel de los Soles, a figure of speech referring to corrupted Venezuelan generals. It's for this reason that the Drug Enforcement Administration and State Department's annual reports on the drug trade have never even mentioned the Cartel de los Soles by name. And while accusing Maduro of heading a fictional drug operation, Trump recently pardoned the former Honduran president Juan Orlando Hernandez, a convicted narco-trafficker who accepted more than $1 million in bribes to transmit drugs through Honduras and was caught on tape vowing to, quote, stuff the drugs up the gringos' noses. Trump and Rubio have made equally dubious claims about Maduro directing the gang Tren de Aragua, TDA, the pretext for deporting Venezuelan immigrants to a torture-ridden prison in El Salvador without due process. The Trump administration's rationale was undermined earlier this year by a US intelligence report that concluded that the Venezuelan government probably does not have a policy of cooperating with TDA and is not directing its activities in the United States. The fact that Maduro was seized by US forces with little resistance indicates that Washington had cooperation inside the Venezuelan leader's inner circle. What happens next in Venezuela, where Maduro's remaining government is still in power under Vice President Delcy Rodriguez, remains to be seen. In his remarks, Trump threatened a second invasion, a clear threat to Maduro's successors for complete submission. The one certainty is that the Trump team's aggression does not end in Caracas. In their public comments on Saturday, Trump and Rubio identified more potential targets. Colombian President Gustavo Petro, a critic of the campaign against Venezuela, quote, does have to watch his ass, Trump declared. As for another critic, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum, arguably Latin America's most popular leader, quote, something's going to have to be done with Mexico, he added. And Rubio, who has long sought regime change in his family's country of origin, offered his own threat. Quote, if I lived in Havana and I was in the government, I'd be concerned, at least a little bit.